Strangers once again. It wasn't strangers from strangers into brothers and brothers into strangers. It wasn't like a barrage of notes. Again, a lot of these songs are going to remind us to simplify, simplify, simplify. Hey, it's Mike Myers from the Songwriting for Guitar podcast. Before we jump into this episode, if you're a songwriter, guitarist, and you're looking to advance your skills, gain confidence, and monetize your craft, be sure to check out songwritingforguitar.com for all our free resources. So let's jump into this week's episode. Now, this is exciting for me because this song that I'm going to be breaking down one more time by Blink-182 is, for me, a band that I grew up with. But this single is interesting because it's a departure from what they usually do. If you think of their singles, All the Small Things, Damn It, What's My Age Again, Feeling This, very loud, ruckus, energy. This one still has energy, but it's very reflective. But this was an album that went to #1 on the Billboard charts this year. This was their first #1 Billboard album. And what I like about this song in particular, we always talk about high root and thirds. This is going to be an example where we're going to be using some lower thirds to play through these chords. And to me, it's a really cool rhythm, great contrast in their melodies from low octave, high octave, really good blend. So let's take a listen. Now, one of my favorite things about this song is the drone that's happening. We have a droning note, and it's F sharp. It's the 4th fret of our 4th string right here. So as we're going throughout the chord changes, this note remains consistent. So what I'm going to do is have my first finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, and then my second finger is going to be on the 5th fret of the 5th string. That's going to be D. Now, to play this, my first finger needs to lie in a way that mutes the strings below. And then my second finger and my thumb lay across, or my thumb lays across the 6th string, and underneath the 6th string, my second finger catches it. So I get that it's just muted. So that way, I can go ahead and strum up and down without fear of, like, I'm going to get these strings that don't work. So that's the start. Now for the next one, when I go to C sharp, I'm just going to have my first finger go flat. And this is going to press into the 4th frets of my 5th and 4th string. Again, thumb is over on the 6th string to mute it. And then my first finger is pressing in just to these 2 frets and everything else below. It sounds easy, but this takes practice. You're almost delegating. Pressure needs to go here on my first finger, and then everywhere else, it needs to let go just enough, but lay there to mute these strings. So we had... Then we're going to go to a B power chord, and that is 2 of your 5th string, and then 4 of your 4th string. And the same thing with a power chord. First finger has to lie over and mute all the strings that we don't want to hear. And it also is right underneath the 6th string to mute it. So we have... And then I'm going to go to a G power chord. And the first time, G is going to be my first finger on the 3rd fret of my 6th string, and then 5th fret of my 5th string. Easy for me to say. So I'm using my 3rd finger. Now midway, my middle finger is going to be suspended. It looks like I'm playing something, but I'm not. But midway through the strum, it's then going to land on the 4th fret of my 4th string, that F sharp again. is also a major scale that we're pulling from. So if I go to a D major scale, and we're going to utilize 2 octaves because the way Mark and Tom sing, Mark usually takes the low octave, Tom takes the high octave. There are times where they're doing the same. So we're utilizing both octaves. So in this case, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 6, 7. That's the first octave. And if I want to start up here, I have to remember it's 7, 9, 7, 8, 10, 7, 9, 10. Okay, so now that we know these octaves, let's dive into a little bit of the melody. The way it starts off, Tom actually is on the low octave. Strangers, from strangers into brothers. So strangers, from strangers into brothers. So we got 7 and 4 of our 4th string. From then 5, 7, 4, 7, 7, 5. Strangers, from strangers into brothers, from brothers into strangers once. So on we have a different note, 4th fret of our 5th string again. But just think of just the simplicity in that first bit. Just 3 notes. Strangers, from strangers into brothers, brothers into strangers once again. It wasn't strangers from strangers into brothers and brothers into strangers. It wasn't like a barrage of notes. Again, a lot of these songs are going to remind us to simplify, 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 simplify. But remember to stay on certain notes, play around with certain notes, cut them up. There's also a kind of a secondary piano melody that's happening in the background that's almost reminiscent of the verse, but it's all the way up here. So I'm going to go on the 3rd and my 2nd string, and I have my 1st finger flat on the 7th frets. So it's 3, 2, so 7 frets of my 3rd and 2nd, boom, boom. And on the 3rd string, I'm going to go 6, 7, and then 7 of my 4th string. So it's, and then the 2nd time, we're going to do pretty much everything the same, except instead of ending on the 7th fret, we're going to end on the 9th fret of our 4th string. Again, small variation. So if we play it all together, and all the while all these melodies are happening, all these secondary hooks, the chord progression is still it hasn't changed. When we get to this chorus, think of what we were playing during that secondary hook with the piano. There's some similar patterns that we're going to follow. So when he's like, do I have to die to hear you say, hear you miss me? So it's da 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 dum. So think of just that one note on the 3rd string, 7th fret. We're hanging on that and playing it a lot. Do you have to die? Do I have to die? Do I have to die to hear you miss me? Do I have to die to? So on 2, we're at the 7th fret of our 2nd. Here, and that's the 6th fret. 6th fret of my 3rd string. You miss me. So just that first bit. And then for the next one, do I have to die to hear you say goodbye? So bye is on that 9th fret of our 4th string. Then for the next one, I don't want to act like there's tomorrow. I don't want to have to do this one more time. Again, it repeats. We have small variations. Only four notes that we're using. Which, again, I still think is, this is why we do this, because it reminds us to keep it simple. Even I have to do this consistently because I will try to overcomplicate things because I'm like, oh, this is interesting, but is it easy for people to grasp and hold on to? Because, you know, we say, we always use the statistic of how many songs are uploaded to Spotify daily, blah, 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 blah. What's going to hold people's attention? Something they can latch onto melodically. And so doing this is a great reminder to make our hooks easy to digest, create variation, but give them something that is stable, something that they can latch onto. And that's why sometimes I think things like drone notes, adding secondary hooks that are reminiscent of your chorus, so it kind of is slowly imprinting into the listener's mind. Now, here's a little bonus to practice. Octaves. There's a point in the verse where Mark and Tom are singing the same melody, but one's high, one's low. Octaves are deceptively difficult. Because yes, it is the same note. In this case, D major, or just D, would be the 5th fret of your 5th string, and then 7th fret of your 3rd string. But the key is you have to mute all your strings, plus your first finger has to get that 6th string. So if we want to play, I miss you, no time that I miss, still hurts even after all these years. I know the next time it's always gonna happen. I gotta tell her while you're here. Okay, so if we wanted to write something like this, let's try the lower thirds. Because again, what I like about lower thirds, it's not necessarily a full chord, but there's a little bit of flooring and body to it. So if we want something that has a deeper sound as opposed to, you know, high root and thirds, that's where I would go for something lower. So this was in D. Let's try E. E is great because we got the open string as well of our 6th string. Yeah. Do I want that lower? No, let's get rid of it. Let's just not have it. Yeah, okay, wait a minute. I like that. So I'm taking the 3rd of E, but I'm adding in my pinky just a little bit is something different as opposed to just hanging on there. I'm using that for my scale, so that's my 5th. I like that, so and I'll just go a little bit lower. Okay, so I want to know, what is your one big takeaway? What's the gold nugget in this song that you're going to start to use in your writing? Hey, it's Mike from Songwriting for Guitar. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And hey, don't leave. We got other cool videos you should check out too, like some of these right here. Oh, that one right there. That's really good. You should click that. Right there. Just click it.